Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. We have temperatures that are bone-chilling cold that are on their way into the Central Plains, and that's going to kick off and usher in a return, well, to those good old lake effect snows. Big-time snow that we'll talk about in this update as well. And for the deep south, this means a deep freeze, with terribly cold temperatures working their way well down toward the Gulf Coast states. I'll have details on all of it coming up next. We're going to start with a look at what's behind me right now, and that's our feels like temperatures on this Monday night. Now, the coldest of the year is going to be on its way out of Saskatchewan as we head into the next 24 hours. So flakes of snow and single-digit readings are working their way into parts of northern Minnesota and North Dakota right now. Where you see the pink colors here, that's well below freezing temperatures. And as we look here where the blue colors are, we're on our way down. Now, these are feels like temperatures right now, and it feels cold in northern Arkansas. It feels plenty cool in parts of the western Carolinas right now. And taking a look at the radar across the nation, we're seeing quiet conditions for a vast majority, with some snow that has fallen in the last 24 hours in parts of Minnesota, the Colorado Rockies of central and southern Colorado. Wet weather does continue now as we go through, and we have our first nor'easter in store as well. So as we take a look at what's going on with the snowfall across the Rocky Mountains, we're seeing from Colorado Springs and Pueblo, snow continues. Snowfall measurements in these areas as we look through definitely have added up to a few inches outside of Pueblo. So here is a look at those. Now, as we take a look, we're looking at about 2.3 inches in and around Pueblo, Colorado Springs, about 5 inches of snow reported in and around that area. The winds have been gusting 40 miles per hour across the Dakotas today. There was a blizzard warning out in parts of east central Montana. Snow has really iced up the roads out here because we had December rain across much of the Dakotas and Minnesota, and that is freezing up. A dash of snow in Bismarck right now. Snowfall amounts in these areas we'll go over in just a minute, but we still have inclement weather across this entire region for travelers because of very icy conditions. Now, as we look at the southern part of the United States, we have some showers of rain that are heavy from New Orleans through Dothan, Alabama, and into parts of central and southern Georgia tonight. This cold front is moving off the coast. This system is going to be very interesting as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours and look at what's going on up here. For much of Massachusetts, we have heavy rain, including the Cape. We're looking out onto places to the north there. As we look into Burlington, Vermont, and all the way out towards Portland, Maine, we have some snow showers continuing there. Snowfall amounts today around 5 inches. This is in Hamilton, New York here being reported in that general vicinity. Let's take a look at the forecast, shall we? Because we do have some cold air to take hold, and we're going to look at a couple different facts. Let's start with those temperatures. Here's the American model, and the American model showing us in colors here what the temperatures are looking like as we go through the next couple of days. So here they are, and if you focus on that big purple blob out there in parts of Saskatchewan as we go through the next 24 hours, that's going to dive into the northern plains. Here she comes with actual air temperatures. These are not wind chills, 10 to 25 below. Wind chills will be 20 to 40 below zero as we look into the far northern reaches of the United States. This blue line, that's the freezing line. Right there it is, and it's heading south as we go through your Wednesday. This is in the midday hours. Now, the temperatures will just keep plummeting in the northern plains throughout the day. Look at the air temperatures there just across portions near Winnipeg and out towards Brandon, Manitoba, 25 below zero. Here's that deep freeze. This actual air temperatures down to freezing in northern parts of Georgia, northern parts of Mississippi, and also into the Carolinas as well as we go through Wednesday. And it's not done yet because the cold air lingers around. Now, it starts to moderate just a bit as we go into Friday as the system works its way up along the Atlantic seaboard. This cold air is going to be flying over those Great Lakes, and that's going to enhance that lake effect snow. So that's what we're going to focus on right now. So we take a look at the precipitation fields with regards to this forecast model. What you're going to notice is this wave of snow that's moving through the northeastern United States right now in the New England states will give way to our very first nor'easter in a long, long time of significance. This is going to bring some significant rain shower activity to much of the area, and it's all also going to bring in some heavy winds as it intensifies as it moves into the mid-Atlantic states. Now, this will bring some snow to New England, but here is the big nor'easter that will be affecting the Appalachians with some snow. Now, here's the cold air starting to punch in. As these north winds blow over the lakes, you know what that means. Western Michigan, northern or the UP of Michigan, northern parts of Wisconsin, all the way out into upstate New York and Pennsylvania, going to see that lake effect machine begin cranking its wheels as we go through Wednesday. At the same time, here's the nor'easter. Very heavy rain, over 2 inches of liquid moisture from many areas or for many areas as this system moves its way through Wednesday. Be prepared for wet weather along the shore. And then as we go inland, we'll see some bands of moderate to heavy snow. Central Pennsylvania, all the way out to western Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and even as close as, let's say Albany, seeing a good chance for some significant snow as well. Here comes that lake effect machine. It rocks and it rolls from Wednesday on as the northwest winds will take hold, and we'll have lingering snow into the late week that will really elevate and enhance snowfall totals in those typical places. Syracuse, Boston, Erie, western parts of the mitten of Michigan can expect it, as well as the UP. Meanwhile, as we take a look at that late week forecast, we start to see some changes in the Pacific Northwest as a system will work out of the Aleutian Island chain and bring a chance for some unsettled weather into the upcoming weekend. And unsettled weather continues for the Great Lakes and Northern Plains right through. How much snow are we talking? Let's look at the Great Lakes and talk a little bit about that. As we look at the regional forecast for snow, I do want to point out you should check with your local National Weather Service office for where these lake effect snow machines actually dial in and set up. But let's take a look at this forecast. Here comes, or the exiting storm system, here comes all the rain with the approaching nor'easter. This is the bands of heavy snow. You can see just how close it shaves up into parts of western Massachusetts and then through Vermont and New Hampshire on through Maine as we go through our Thursday morning. Here comes the northwest winds. So the lake effect machine really gets going as we head from Wednesday night and into your Thursday morning. And it just keeps chug-a-lugging along with the next system working its way in. So that's a look at the timing there in close up. Now the snowfall amounts and the potential, we'll call it, for the heavy wet snow. Remember, some of this snow that's falling now is going to get laid over with some rain as well. Here it goes. Okay, so as we look into Erie, Pennsylvania here, very heavy snow begins on Wednesday, lasts into Thursday, and it continues to chug-a-lug-lug all the way into your Friday. Look at this in western New York State, upstate New York, all seeing enhanced amounts of snow, well over a foot in those bands, well over 1 foot of snow in those bands of lake effect that take place there. Now, if we take a look at western Michigan real quickly, because you too will have the impacts of this system, as will portions of the UP. As we take a look at this as we go through, boom, here it comes again, same time frame, Wednesday all the way through Friday, enhanced snowfall in western parts and northern parts of Michigan. Another system comes across that brings another dash of snow to add insult to injury as we head into the upcoming weekend. So that is a look at that. Now let's take a look at that deep freeze in the deep south as we focus in on that region of the United States. We're going to look all the way down into portions of the Gulf Coast states here. And what I want to focus on here is air temperatures. So as we take a look at these temperatures that are going to be making their way in, we're going to go from the 70s and 80s in the peninsula of Florida. And here it comes. As we head into Wednesday night, this is a time frame when the northern plains are seeing sub-zero temperatures move in, and this is afternoon temperatures on Wednesday only in the 50s. So a sharp boundary between places like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, as we go up in towards Tampa, 50s there. And then as we go into Wednesday night, that's when the cold takes hold. Some of these temperatures will be very close to freezing. There'll be frost potential across much of the northern portions of Florida and even into central and southern parts of Georgia as well. So there's some frost potential and even a freeze potential as we go into your, Thursday morning and again on Friday morning, still quite chilly in these areas. Now, as we take a look elsewhere, that is basically what we have going on. So we've talked a little bit about the snowfall potential. We've talked a little bit about the rainfall potential. Let's take one more look at that as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours as that real nor'easter system begins to set up shop. Here is a look at total precipitation amounts in the deep south with the system moving through there today. And then there's Here's the nor'easter that gets going. As it gets going with its very wet weather, we're talking 1 to 3 inches with an isolated narrow band of 3 or more inches of liquid equivalent moisture rainfall in these areas. This moves up the Atlantic seaboard. Let's look in on the mid-Atlantic states, the Carolinas, and into the Virginias. And as we take a look at the rainfall potential with the nor'easter moving through, anywhere from a half of an inch to 2 inches of rainfall in the elevated terrain as it works its way north and eastward. And as we move up the Atlantic seaboard into the New England states here, this is liquid moisture, so this does include you folks getting snow up there as we go through. Here is the nor'easter that works its way through. 1 to 3 inches of liquid equivalent moisture throughout much of Massachusetts as we look into Rhode Island, all the way out towards Maryland. And here is Jersey picking up a good 1 to 2 inches of rainfall there. Liquid equivalent moisture in parts of Pennsylvania. It'll be wetter on the east side of the state, whiter on the west side of the state. This does include the moisture that would be in the snow that works its way in as we go through the late week. So 1 to 3 inches of liquid equivalent moisture when we melt down your snow in upstate New York. Now, as we go back to that national view real quickly, we'll take a look at the moisture that will be working its way into the Pacific Northwest as we go into the next weekend, and you can certainly see very heavy rainfall is on board there. Quiet in southwestern United States for the next 7 days, and also for much of the southern and south central plains, quiet as well as we go through this second week in the month of December. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I sure appreciate you watching. If you liked what you saw here, I'd love to have you hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And until next time, stay tuned to me here at Hutch's Weather and hutchesweather.com, and stay safe.